What's going on? Thank you for watching. It's been quite a while. I don't even know if my last post was in 2020. I don't really care. Because I wanted to come in, and it's really nice to not have to have an intro. And that was something that crossed my mind earlier today. You don't have to think as much as you're executing with YouTube. Now, that's not to say with the podcast, it's a very thoughtful platform, and I think that's really cool. And I'm definitely going to be there a lot, and I've touched on a lot of my rebrand things for audio, focus on audio, the appreciation of audio, things like that. But I've missed just the action of YouTube, just the quick snap action of just executing with no intro, no segments, just going while I have a quick minute. So I wanted to get into, and I've seen some videos on this, some very inspiring planning videos, and I was reading an article today, which I thought was pretty cool, and it's kind of things where I've been going, where I've gotten into in writing, which is paper, and paper is definitely still relevant here in 2020 because you're able to have kind of this visual, tactile, print, braille, whichever medium you write in, whether you can see, whether you can't see, it doesn't matter at all. It's just the fact that you can be more thoughtful. At least for me, I can be more thoughtful in my writing process, and I think it's pretty cool if you can do this digitally. I've also been able to do this digitally, but I feel like I've gotten burnt out, and I also feel like there are times when I go digital and can write pretty good still. And so, like my paper writing, and like the podcast, and like using my Echo Show to spell things for me or research, using the computer to listen to my daily little soap opera podcast, I want to add YouTube back into my arsenal a little more. And I don't know when I'm definitely going to post again for sure, but wanted to let you guys know, just to stop by, let you guys know that I'm still on the podcast. I definitely feel like there's more of a community here in some ways because, like I said, the quick execution, the lack of intro that I have to think about, and all that kind of stuff. So I had fun digitally still, writing a list of benefits as to why paper is relevant for me as a writer, somebody getting more into writing for sure. And it was cool because I was documenting my rebrand thought process the other day, and I was writing a couple little ideas out on paper, and it was really cool to be able to do that confidently and after getting back into writing for a while. And it's just it's been fun. So, I've definitely, this is one of those really rare years where change has happened and is continuing to happen, and I think it's pretty cool. Without the need for expectations, without the extra need for anything, just like I said, I don't know when I'm going to post on here, but I had enough information to show you why paper is relevant, at least for me. And I know that digital is still relevant. So if you want to make a case in the comment section, that's awesome, because I definitely see where it is. And while you're making that case, maybe you can put in a few app recommendations. But at the same time, that's up to you, because I feel like I was able to brain dump on paper tasks that I needed to get done. I didn't have to worry about when I should be notified on my lock screen or any of that stuff. So again, I'm seeing definitely a 2020 planner trend. And I know on the podcast I had mentioned I was going to purchase a planner, but I realized I had a lot more paper than I thought, and I think it'd be funner to make my own as a little project, and I have a binder here. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to be doing that. And so if you guys have any thoughts, leave them down below. I'm going to leave my podcast, the article, and my list down below because I think it's enough info. If you're thinking about planning on paper or even just writing your thoughts. I'm also blogging on paper, but I don't know that I'm going to be that specific with my naming process in the podcast. I think audio scene fits my style of recording a little more because I like to record in scene form or clip form. So audio scene fits my expressions, and definitely I'll be having some more of my my points written down while I talk because I've definitely been a speaker all my life and I'm used to that format, and I don't know how I've been able to podcast for all these years without it. And I mean, and this is definitely times being in school and stuff like that. That's one of the things I've always been known for in school was to speak. And again, I mean, it's just the format that I've been used to. And I think that's why when I've had podcasts in the past, I've been so scatterbrained or so bored and switching from one thing to another, never sticking with series or topics or anything. So, definitely. And, adding YouTube back is not going to take anything away from the podcast, but I think doing both will give me a better understanding and it will allow me to execute or to put my thoughts out there really and express myself, not just regular thoughts one by one, but express myself in a very modern and kind of way. And podcasts are modern too, but they're very thoughtful and long form. And YouTube, it's kind of nice to just sit here like this and do one segment with no intro or outro, to kind of keep the attention or whatever, like on a podcast. But then the podcast way, I do get where I feel very thoughtful. So anyway, what is your writing process like? Are you writing more in 2020? Are you finding new ways to express yourself that may not include writing in 2020? Let me know, and I'll see you down below.